Well, we definitely live in interesting times, that's for sure. I don't know whether to start with the Michigan situation where they found over 200 illegals on the juror rolls, the whole situation that's going down in Greenland, Minnesota, and the ICE trying to apparently ID a Somali woman on the street, or should I go into the fact that France is apparently leaving NATO? And does that mean NATO's falling apart? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Ripple Effect. So first of all, I want to talk about the Michigan thing. And this is the thing I think that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit, is to be on the juror voting for like juries and stuff, you have to be registered to vote. So the fact that they try to claim over and over again and say, don't look here, it's not true. There are no illegal aliens on the rolls anywhere. We don't ever allow that to happen. I don't know what you're talking about. Conservatives, what are you talking about? And then like a famous conservative commentator would say, Michael Knowles, he always says that, don't this doesn't happen, but if it does, it's good. It's kind of how they are, really. But again, the fact in less than 4 months, they found one clerk found over 200 illegal aliens on juror lists. That's insane. Well, this is when we say that it's such a major problem that it's going to take such major uprooting of society to get this trash out. Not even just talking about the people. I'm talking about like the situation where we're destroying our own economy. We're destroying our own morals and ethics and values of our country by bringing in people that believe it's okay to break the law. And no matter what the lefties say, they've proven that illegals, when they come in, because they're breaking in the country, they will have a higher propensity to break the law once you've come in illegally. It's just a statistical fact. But there are even wilder stories than that. So Greenland, I was thinking about this, and so I was looking into some of the stuff that's going on in Greenland. And the main thing is this. Apparently it's space. I had no idea. Apparently it's space. So because of the ballistic missiles and the things that are required for first strike and second strike and that kind of thing, Russia has so many bases and stuff like that up in the Arctic area that are controlled through there. And the shortest way between points, if nuclear war was going to happen, is that area, and that they hide their submarines apparently under the ice up there as well. So this would allow us to have a little sneak peek into what's going on, as well as to give us detection right away when something happens to protect ourselves, as well as to make sure that we have such overwhelming control over the area to protect them. I don't understand what Europe's problem is. Guys, what are you thinking? If we can't defend you from Russia, if we can't defend you from China and their ballistic missiles and the space tactical area over there, you are toast. You are toast. Let alone us. You're toast. You're closer. But yet you'd want us to come running to your aid if you guys got into trouble. You'd want us to, but you can't even do this. Like, what is even the difference between Denmark controlling Greenland or America controlling Greenland? And I'm not even saying that because I don't even think the resources matter. I think the area matters, the location matters, and all the stuff that's going through that strait right there, the GUIPK strait or whatever it's called, that right there is causing all of these global terrible issues if it can't be controlled by a military that is us. Because if we don't control it, and by that I say we, I mean the West, including Europe, then China and Russia will. And then what? Maybe it's time to think about giving it up. And a threat that I've been warning about for a while has come up. Apparently, the synagogue that was burned down. And I knew what state it was. It's like Minnesota. One of those. A lot of things have been happening in Minnesota, so I'm going to assume that it was. But the big story that was out is that it's a Catholic teen that burnt down that synagogue, the biggest synagogue in the state, and he burnt it down. Now, immediately the moment I heard that it was a Catholic teenager that did it, do you know what my thought went to? And this is what I've been warning about for a long time. Do you know what my thought went to? Nick Fuentes, the Grapers. When we allow those kinds of trashy human beings to get out there and have their say and constantly put about how wicked and horrible the Jews are, and the Jews did this, Jews did that, man, the Jews really get around, don't they? It's amazing how such a small group of people can really do so much if you listen to these idiots. But when we allow our young people to be poisoned by this nonsense, this is why censorship matters. Conservatives, we've always been okay with censorship, not the lack of freedom of speech. There's a difference. Meaning, if you want to go say your nonsense in your area, that's fine, but we need to be able to protect our people from that kind of thing. And there's different levels of that. I understand how completely. Your child, you do the censoring automatically. When you go to Disney Plus or whatever else, or whatever apps you're on there's a little button for kids. You go to that. That's censorship, guys. That's censorship. That word is not dangerous unless you're keeping critical information that is required. The problem is when we blur the line between freedom of speech and actual hate being expressed in violence, not just hate speech of like, oh, I don't like those people. Hate speech being expressed into violence and action of violence. And you can't say that Nick Fuentes does not incite to violence because of the stuff that he has actually said from his platform. Now, the difference is, I think censorship doesn't come from the government in this case. I think censorship comes from you stop wasting your time on other things and push channels like this. It doesn't have to be mine. Pick a different one. I don't care. Push channels that will make sense to the young people so that we can win them. That is a form of censorship. You flood the market with good stuff so the garbage is removed. That's good censorship, okay? And that young man, his life is ruined forever. For 20 years, he's going to be in jail for burning down that synagogue because and I guess the dad was in on it. He was texting the dad all about it. So what, the dad's into this kind of junk too? It's just sick. We are controlled by sickness right now in our country on the right. By this anti-Jewish stuff that's come in. And I don't even really think or care about the Jews. I don't go my day even with thinking about the Jews. But I'll tell you this right now. When you allow this kind of garbage in this anti-Jew rhetoric, it causes problems. And it has caused destruction of every country that has ever happened because God has his protection on them. And what kind of people are we when we breed so much hate? What kind of people are we? To change the subject, Oregon, along the ideas of Michigan, Oregon is removing 800,000 people from its voter rolls. 800,000 people from its voter rolls. You don't think that an election can be affected by fraud when there's 800,000 people on the voter rolls that shouldn't be there? That should tell you everything you need to know. I don't want to listen to these Democrats saying, it's not happening, you can't see it here. No, it is happening. We know it's happening. Stop making us stop lying to us, and then stop telling us that we have to use the word allegedly every time because you're going to sue us if we say something that you don't like, because you'll find some way of winning with some stupid liberal lawyer or doctor or a judge. It's disgusting. We need to get that stuff out of our country. Get rid of it. Take away frivolous lawsuits so that people can actually say what they need to say and call you out for your junk. Now, along the same idea of stupidity, France, I'm going to say France is leaving NATO. That's what everyone's trying to say. I mean, there was some liberal news sources going off on it and going, well, there was introduced in their government introduced the idea, a bill, a discussion to leave from NATO. Okay, leave. Trump's already stated that he doesn't know how much help NATO is. Think about this. Russia and China get together and attack the United States. I don't know if we could handle them both at the same time, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think you'd get a lot of help from NATO. I mean, they don't have a lot of help to give, for one. And do we really trust France? France to really help us in time of need? I mean, we've been there for them every time they've needed help, sure. But now that Trump wants Greenland and doesn't even really want to hurt it in any way, shape, or form, just needs it for the tactical thing to protect them. Apparently that's really upsetting them. We have a lot of weak people in the world. We have a lot of petty people in the world who can't handle mean words and can't handle facts sometimes. And you need to get over it. You need to get over being petty and be able to pull yourself out of a situation and say, how important is this in the long run? What am I doing? Is it important in the long run? That's what you need to think about. Okay? On a funny note, Chicago, the teachers, they did a thing where they posted this about Pritzker. Governor Pritzker needs to step down or something. I don't know. They're going against him. And the school union group, teachers union, sorry, misspelt the word governor. And it would be funny, except for the fact that that's because they don't teach spelling in schools anymore. And if you go to Chicago, you can see just how bad the schools really are. The education level, how bad it is. Public education needs to go away. It needs to go away, okay? There are so many good sources out there now, and I'm so glad to see that so many people are moving away from this garbage. But public education needs to go away because all it's ever done is destroy and been a hotbed of training for all kinds of leftist nutcase ideas. Get rid of it. And on a final note, I want to ask ICE a question here. Okay, ICE, if you're listening, which you're not, but whatever. If you were listening, I don't even fully know the situation of the story, but I read some of the story, and I got enough that I think I'm dangerous with it. But in Minnesota, on the streets, a woman was walking, standing, whatever, maybe even protesting. I don't know. I don't think she was protesting from the story. Again, I'll look into it, and I'll update you guys tomorrow. I've been running around all day. It's been crazy. But there was this exchange that was sent out of people asking her for her ID. And ICE was very determined about it. And I don't know if they arrested her in the end. Again, there was the snippet that I saw was very, very short. I tried looking into it. I didn't have time. Ended up my failure. I apologize. But my point is this. If it is what it seems like, and even if it isn't what it seems like, here's my question for you, ICE. Have you run out of bad guys? Have you really run out of the bad guys that you're going after these people? And I'm saying this while I'm on your side, but I need to be able to defend you, okay? And when you make a fool of yourself and you look stupid, it makes it really hard for me to defend you. So get your act together. There's plenty of gangsters still out there. There's plenty of people with major crimes on their list. Stop being pathetic and stupid and go after them. I can defend that. And then when you've rounded all them up, then we can talk about coming back and picking on the Somali woman that's standing on the sidewalk. Okay? All right? And I will recant. If there was something else that was in there that, led to this, I will recant that statement. But when you're under this much scrutiny, and I'm defending you. I saw a video today that the left was from a left source that was trying to be like, oh, look at the ICE. They were doing this horrible thing. This guy stood in front of their car, and they almost hit him. And so one of the guys came out and shoved the guy out of the way. Good. He should have probably tased him. These people need to understand, and I'll tell you this. Enough with getting in the way. Enough. Protest on the side, I don't care. But police officers everywhere, listen to me. Arrest people who get in the street. Arrest people who obstruct traffic. Get rid of it. Over. It's done. Be done with it. Okay? It is so dangerous and inhibiting. Get it done with. Over and out. That is not covered under the freedom of speech. You don't get to obstruct traffic. Get them out, arrest them, put them in jail, and then every time someone does something like this, there needs to be a ratcheting higher degree of punishment so that eventually they're gone. Because if they won't learn their lesson, they need to be gone. I'm tired of agitators disrupting our whole entire world and system because they want to do... Seriously. I mean... There's stories of people locking up tankers of oil thinking it was oil when it was actually cooking oil because people are so stupid. That's why they need punishment for this kind of nonsense. Yes, you can stand and protest. Yes, you can demonstrate. But the moment you start causing interference for someone else, you've lost your freedoms because you've crossed that bounds. As the joke a long time ago goes, a guy coming off a boat into the United States says, I'm finally free, I can do whatever I want. Turns around and slugs the guy next to him, right? The guy gets up and just whoops his butt and beats the crap out of him and says, your freedom ends where my nose begins. And that's what they need to be told. Enough of playing patty cakes with them. Let's get this done. Change our country and the landscape of our country so that this doesn't happen anymore. And I'll tease a story. There's the story, and if you've seen it, then good for you. But there's a story of a counter-protester who, let's just say, dealt out some good justice. And I'll tease that for tomorrow. I might actually have a show tomorrow. I have a lot to say, so maybe I always have a lot to say. So maybe I'll do that. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please spread the word. You get to a chance to punch the left in the nose, so to speak, by spreading this channel everywhere you can. and not just me. If you find another channel out there as well, do the same thing. Spread it, get it out there, help these channels grow, help these channels get traction so there's more people that are not the big names that are constantly saying the same garbage, but the ones that actually matter, that are feet on the ground, that are grounded still. Get those channels out there, because those are the ones that young people are going to listen to. Those are the ones that maybe the people in the middle will listen to, because the other names are too well known, unfortunately, and just automatically people tune them out. So please help us out, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and spread the word. Thank you so much for watching.